Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm your host, Dave Ramsey. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones for you to call in and talk about your life. We'll talk about you right in front of you. The phone number is 888-825-5225. You jump in and we'll talk. Tristan's going to start this hour in Indianapolis. Hi, Tristan. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm calling to get some advice on our situation. I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband's a full-time nurse making $80,000 a year. We have about $140,000 in just various debts to get paid off. Our house, we have about $173,000 left on our house. If we were to sell today in the market, we can make about $100,000. I guess my question is, should we do that to pay off some of this debt?
You got $140,000. How much was it in debt?
Yeah, about $140,000, and we have two cars.
Okay, how much of that? Give me your car breakdown.
My husband's car is like 88, so it's 8,800, and my car is at like 11,000.
Okay, and what's the rest of this mess?
We got one credit card at like 1,000. We have another credit card at like 9,000, and then we have student loans, and we have a smaller loan that's at like 11 or 12,000 that helped fix our crawl space.
The student loans are the big chunk.
Yes, mine especially.
How much is it?
It's about 80.
And how many kids do you guys have?
We have 3.
How old are they? Sorry, I know that's rapid fire.
No, you're good. We have an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old.
If it's me, I have a couple questions. Okay, he's a nurse. Yeah. He's making $80,000. Were you working before kids, or have you always been a stay-at-home mom?
I've worked here and there. I worked briefly when my oldest was little, and then once we had my second, my paycheck essentially just would pay for childcare, and it just wasn't worth it for us. So,
what was your career?
Just customer service type gigs. I worked at a gym, front desk type things.
You have a degree?
I don't.
Okay. And your husband's a nurse. Okay.
Is there anything that you can... let me rephrase that question. I think that there are things that you can also do to earn money from home when you have time, because at the end of the day, the equation here is we've got to get the income up. I wouldn't sell the house to get $100,000 if that was your initial question. I think that you guys need to work through this, and I know that you can work through this. $140,000, $80,000 income. If you can find $20,000, if you can find $25,000 a year, anything is going to help this equation move faster. Right? Because at this point, uprooting the family, doing all this to get $100,000, you're going to have to then save up 3 to 6 months, and then you're going to save up a down payment. And whatever you move over to rent is not going to be a big difference. As a matter of fact, you could end up spending more money monthly.
Yeah. If I were in your shoes, I would go through 3 years of hell rather than sell your house.
Okay.
And the 3 years of hell sounds like this. He picks up side gigs in the ER, and you find something you do to work from home. And those two things together add $40,000 or $50,000 to this equation, and you throw all of that and some more towards this student loan, and you're done in 2 to 3 years. But you're going to not see each other. You're going to be tired. You're definitely not going out to eat. You're not going on vacation. You're going to sell so much stuff around the house that the kids think they're next. Your friends are going to be making fun of you because you joined a cult. You're going to be having all of this kind of thing going on for about 2.5 to 3 years, and then you'll be free forever.
And let me raise my hand on something here, Tristan. The kids are 8, 5, and 1.5. It may have made more sense even 2 years ago to stay at home because you had 2 kids outside of kindergarten that were younger, right? And now you've got a kindergartner, you've got an 8-year-old, you've only got the 1 kid at home. So if you found the right gig, it might, do you see what I'm saying? It could be worth it to recrunch those numbers, because that does, having 2 kids. It could be worth
it to bring 3 kids into your home and keep them, and that's your gig.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because people are looking for inexpensive childcare that's
now
reliable.
that's kind of cool too. If you're,
I don't know what the
it.
rules are in Indianapolis. How many kids before you leave being a babysitter and become a daycare? But you don't want to get into that. But from a regulation standpoint and all that. But anyway, people have kept other people's children in their home for generations and paid for it. And so, that's something I would consider, and that's kind of becomes a no-brainer. I don't know, and this is not, none of this is pleasant, but selling your home's not pleasant, being in debt's not pleasant.
Ooh-wee.
Nothing here. There's no pleasant on the table for the next 2 years.
That's true.
So let's just choose our pain, choose our hard, and lean into it and go, at least there's an end to the one we're describing. And the end is, you're going to call in here. You guys are going to bring the 3 kids on the show, and we're going to do a debt-free scream, by God.
Woohoo!
That's what we're going to do.
That's right.
We're going to get fired up and wired up here. And that's what we want for you. And we'll help you. We're going to put you into Financial Peace University, our 9-week program, and that'll also sign you up for Every Dollar, the budgeting app. And we'll show you how to do this stuff that people are doing all the time. And they've been doing it for 30 years. I've been teaching this stuff.
And be sure to tune into our student loan live stream. That's coming up on the 12th. And I mean, your big portion of this debt is student loans, and you're not alone in that. There's so many people who are facing that, and that live stream is going to help them figure out how to budget, figure out what their payment is, figure out how to pay these things off for good so that they're no longer haunted by the ghost of education's past.
Yeah. And ruled by the, anyway, we'll deal with that later.
Yeah.
But so hang on. We'll have Austin pick up, get you signed up for Financial Peace University and get you going in that, because that's what you're going to have to do. And Tristan, what we're describing, I understand. It's almost bizarre. It's so weird. But so is being free. Being completely free of debt in America today is so weird that it's bizarre.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have unusual results, unreasonable results, you're going to have to engage in unreasonable behaviors. And, the lady sitting beside me did it for 7 years.
That's
you
right.
and Sam.
Yeah.
You worked like 17 different things. I mean, and had little kids while you're doing it.
Well, the kids came after the fact.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I will say you have to embrace the things that no one else is willing to embrace. You have to do those things that people will look at you and go, wow, they're weird.
Yeah.
Like, they're crazy. They sold the furniture in their house. They're crazy. Yeah,
that's nuts. I mean, they just sold. They haven't been on vacation in 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you make it?
Yeah. They go to the restaurant and they just order water. They're just there for the social aspect. They're not there to go out to eat.
They're not there for food.
That's right.
At a restaurant. Yeah. That's weird.
That is weird. Yeah. I'm happy to be weird, Dave. I like it.
Going out for drinks with my friends. More water.
Yes. I'll take the water, please.
Water for me. Tap.
With ice.
Tap, not bottle. No frou-frou water. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. I didn't think it was possible with the epic student loan debacle for it to get any dumber out there, but it has.
It's not good, Dave. Student loan repayment. 4 million people have enrolled in Biden's SAVE plan ahead of the payment restart.
According to CNN.com.
Yes. Now we know a lot of these people were probably automatically enrolled.
It says the majority of them. So basically CNN's headline is a lie.
Yeah.
4 million people enroll in Biden's SAVE plan ahead of payment restart. No, they didn't. The vast majority of them were automatically default enrolled. They didn't voluntarily enroll. They didn't actively enroll.
That's right.
So they didn't enroll.
That's right. You pushed them in like cattle.
You pushed them in. That's not enrolling. And so the majority of them came out of the other program that failed called Repay, and now we're into SAVE because we have to have acronyms in Washington for our stupidity.
Right. It makes it sound better than what it is because what it is a trap.
God, this thing is awful, Jay.
It says launched earlier this summer. The SAVE plan, they call it Saving on a Valuable Education. That's laughable. It's available to most people with federal student loans, and this is what they're saying. It can provide, in air quotes, significant relief to borrowers struggling to pay off their student debt.
It would not be struggling to pay off. It'd be struggling to pay.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It does do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, if you sign up or accidentally were enrolled, even though you didn't enroll, in the new SAVE plan, and you're one of those 4 million lost souls, here's what you signed up for. You have a formula based on the poverty level that dictates the dollar amount per month that you are to pay. If it does not cover the interest being charged on your student loan, the interest does not accrue. However, 100%. So in other words, if the interest on your student loan is $50 a month, and the formula says you only have to pay $30 a month, you don't have any extra interest added on. They forgive the $20.
Yes.
But what they fail to mention is 100% of the $30 goes to interest. Consequently, what is happening to your student loan balance?
Here's what I wonder.
It's not moving. It's sitting there, doofus. Sitting there like a frog on a log. My God. How dumb are you people in Washington? Let's sign up people, forgive a portion of their interest, allow them to pay a tiny little payment with the promise of debt forgiveness, which you always lie about up there. I mean, perpetually lie about up there. When are you people going to wake up? Oh, my God, it's dumb. This is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And here's my thing. I'm like, okay, the interest, they say it's not going to accumulate or that it will be forgiven at the end of your term, which, by the way, the term starts, if you, let's say you have $12,000, just $12,000, Dave, in student loans.
Okay.
The forgiveness starts at 10 years of payments. So they want you to keep a $12,000 debt.
No, it's 20 years of payments. They're proposing to bring it back to 10. The proposal's not gone through. Right now, let me see here. Biden proposed canceling up to $20,000. Unlike one-time unlike one-time cancellation proposals, the SAVE plan can benefit both current and future borrowers, which the new people that are getting into student loan debt can sign up for this ridiculous, moronic thing also. The Biden administration first said it was developing a new repayment plan last August. SAVE is expected to cost over. No, that's not the one. Wait a minute. This is not the article.
This is different. So what it is if you have you get in at $12,000 equals 10 years of payments. And for every additional $1,000, Dave, that you owe, so 13, you're paying for 11 years.
Yeah, okay.
14,000 you're paying for 12 years. $14,000.
The max is after 20 years they promise to forgive whatever's left.
Exactly.
So after you've done nothing for 20 years, it's going to be forgiven. But let me help you with the people that got promised that 10 years ago that they were going to have their loans forgiven for doing for working for nonprofits and in underserved areas. Okay, you remember those people?
Yeah. PSLF.
900,000 people have applied for that. You know how many got it? 1.6%.
Ooh.
So after 20 years of doing basically nothing, hoping you're going to get forgiveness, 1.6% of you.
So bad.
This is basically the DMV of the financial world.
So bad.
This is the dumbest butt thing, the most inefficient socialistic garbage I've ever seen in my life. Kick the can down the road. Put your hands over your ears and go, la, 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 la. This is not happening. Dumb butt idea. Now, have I been unclear? I hope I hadn't been unclear. So how are you going to get out of student loan?
This is what you need to do, guys.
You have $12,000 in debt.
Yeah.
Deliver pizzas.
So easy.
Make $2,000 a month delivering pizzas every night, and you're done in 6 months.
Yeah.
And you have the rest of your life to not be screwing around with people like the Biden administration. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
This is ridiculous. And CNN is so stupid, and half the media will pick the same. This press release, by the way, this headline came from the White House.
Yeah, it did.
And they republished it because it's a lie. Student loan repayment. 4 million people enrolled in Biden's SAVE plan ahead. Nobody enrolled.
You automatically
they were defaulted into it.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of people that physically signed up for this idiocy on purpose is very small. But they're making it, 4 million people did it. You should too.
Yeah, no.
No, you shouldn't. Good Lord, people. When are you going to get a clue that the White House and the people in Washington, D.C. are not here to bless you? These people are, you know what this does? It keeps you in debt your whole freaking life. You're 35 years old, you're 55 with grandkids, and you're still screwing around with your college. You ought to have unbelievably naive at best, stupid at worst, to believe the lies they peddle out of the Republicans or the Democrats regarding student loans. Because let me just tell you, student loans are awful. They're horrible. Then why do you morons keep making them?
Now, there's the question, Dave.
There's a dadgum intellectually dishonest bunch of people.
Yeah.
We're going to do everything we can to forgive your student loans and make it easy because they're such a burden on you while we continue to make them to the next generation.
You can't solve a problem.
You're a freshman in college right now? We're going to put you $100,000 in debt, let you get a degree in left-handed puppetry, and then put you on $30 a month for the next 25 years, and then lie to you about whether we're going to forgive it at the end of that. Please, people, don't be so stupid. This is ridiculous. It's completely out of control. I read this. I don't know why I got pissed off, because I should expect this kind of stupidity out of Washington. Yeah. And I should expect this kind of stupidity out of the press, where they put a headline that is completely false across the top. I mean, this is, oh, jeez. So we're gonna help you with that. Listen, your student loan interest has restarted. It started last week, okay? Your payments are going to start October 1st. You know when that's going to be here? Faster than Christmas. It's going to be here in a minute, okay? A hot minute. You're going to have to start paying payments again. And if you're dumb enough to sign up for a $30 a month plan and stay in debt the rest of your life, I can't help you. You're just too dumb to be helped. Okay? That's not going to work. I can't help you. You got the motivation of a dead brick. Oh, come on. Seriously. I can help you, though. Jade can help you if you will get up off your assets and go do something about this.
That's right. You guys got to sign up for our student loan. It's Student Loans in America, How We Got Here, How We're Getting Out. It's a free live stream. If you have student loans and you are not signing up for this free live stream, there's something wrong with you, and I can't help you. If you want help, sign up for the live stream. We're going to tell you everything you need to do. We're going to help you.
Hey, let's charge $30 a month for 20 years for this.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, that would make it popular, and 4 million people could accidentally sign up for it.
Isn't that funny, Dave? How when we want to do something to set people free, that sounds asinine.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you people are taking advantage of poor people by giving you a free live stream. Yeah. Would you shut up? Seriously. It's free. Figure out how that's manipulative, okay? That's free. Yeah, Jade is going to show you. I know some of you are scared, okay? Well, then do something about it. I know some of you are confused. Good. Do something about it. I'll show you how. I've been doing this for 30 years, and it isn't going to be you screw around with this for the rest of your life. I can promise you this. Spoiler alert. You're going to get with it. You're going to get a callus on your working hand, baby. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go, and don't worry about working too hard. Just before you die, you'll pass out. It's okay. We're going to teach you how to do this stuff. Sign up. Student loan live stream, RamseySolutions.com/student loans.
That's right.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 50% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Jake is with us in Dayton, Ohio. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Good. How can we help?
So world got a little flipped upside down. I got a injury. I'm 26, and they said that I'm going to need a total knee replacement. And it's not going to affect my career now. However, in the next 10 to 15 years, I'll need a second knee replacement. And based off that, they said a decent chance that I would not be able to go back to work. So I'm trying to figure out
that job.
Yeah, in this career field. So I'm in law enforcement. So my thought process I'm trying to figure out is, do I go ahead and switch careers now? Because I don't want to, keep dumping money into a pension and then be 40 with kids and then have to switch careers and take a pay cut. Because everything I'm looking at right now is a significant pay cut to where I'm at.
Okay, well, let's just change the set of assumptions. What do you make?
Last year with overtime, I made 102.
Okay, all right. So the assumption that you can't make 102 ever again in your life is not a correct assumption.
No, sir. Yeah, I get that. It's just everything I'm looking at right now.
I know, but but right now your heart's kind of broken because you've had your sights set on being in law enforcement your whole life, or a large portion of your life, and you're heavily invested, and then you got injured, and you've gone through the trauma, the emotional trauma of the injury, and the physical trauma. And now they're telling you that your dream's going to die early.
Right.
And so in that mindset, you usually don't see the sunlight. You usually see the storm clouds. That would be in human nature. Right. Not that you're a bad guy, okay? But I'm not sitting in all that mess that you've been through. And so for me, I've got a 26-year-old guy who's bright enough to become a police officer. He's bright enough to become a lot of things. Between now and 10 years from now, I mean, you could open a business and make $2 million a year. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. How old are you?
So
26.
I'm 26, and since I found this out, I signed up for classes again, and me and my wife are cash flowing that.
Good.
But I'm just trying to. Yeah, I just don't know how long is too long to stay in this career based off of when's the best time to switch careers?
Well, number one, you don't want to get injured again, or leave your partner in trouble because of an injury or something like that. And number two, you don't want to wear it all the way down. But do we have to decide this week? No, we don't decide this week. I mean, we have to go work at Chick-fil-A. No, crap, no, that's not what you're doing. Okay. But what I would do is say, okay, over the next 2 to 3 years, I'm going to develop a career, my encore career, my next career after the curtain goes down and comes back up, and I'm going to get, what classes I have to take or certifications I have to take to be that, and I'm going to become a student of Ken Coleman and go live my next dream, which, oddly enough, might end up better.
No, I like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's thinking God's making me change a career here. So I'm just trying to figure out what the kind of timeline is here,
Yeah, maybe, or my whole life was set up for me to be a real estate investor. And then my real estate portfolio was deeply in debt, and I lost everything. And I was 28 years old, just a tiny bit older than you, with a brand new baby and a toddler, and went bankrupt and lost everything. And so I get to have a new career after that, because guess what? They don't loan you a bunch of money at the bank to go do flips if you just file bankruptcy. So that was kind of out. And so those days were over. Plus, I was done with them because it didn't bring me a lot of fun. And by the time your knee got busted, you're partially over being a policeman at that point, because you're like, this is less fun than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And so you're having a little bit of that same kind of an experience, and you get this next chapter of your life, this second half, so to speak. And I think about things like that, even what you just said, Dave. You did this.
I was just about to say, I came from entertainment. I was an entertainer my entire life, and then COVID happened, and there was no entertainment, and I had to contemplate my life, and I realized...
We were down to Fauci being entertaining. That's how low we got.
But I realized, hey, there's other things I can do. There's other things I'm good at. And I think that you'll find the same thing. And I'm the type of person where I think we just go from good to better to best. Like if you're living your life right, it's just getting better and better. And I think that this has the opportunity to take you on yet another adventure that's going to have another great outcome. Being a law enforcement officer is going to be the first part, and then you're going to move on to something else. And then who knows, you might move on to something else, but that's just the evolution of life. And it's not a failure. It doesn't have to be a negative. This can be one of the greatest things that's ever happened to you, because it'll open that next door. You don't know what's going to be behind it, but you got to keep turning those knobs, and something's going to be behind there. And you're going to look back on this and go, man, here's what my prayer always is. I want to look back and go, man, I'm so grateful XYZ happened, because when that happened, it allowed me to do this, this, and that. And this has the potential to do that for you. You'll look at this right now. It's painful. It sucks. But in a couple of years, in 8 years, in 12 years, you might go...
I would have never ... if that hadn't happened.
Yes. I never would have been at Ramsey if it wasn't for 2020.
Yeah.
And everybody hated 2020.
Thank you, Fauci.
Thank you, Fauci. That's the only time we'll say it.
That's the only time you'll ever hear that. Nobody but except the plexiglass people say thank you, Fauci. I'm just saying.
Now, if that's what it means to get Fauci'd, then...
So, yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, but the point is, I didn't sign up for bankruptcy. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And I won't say it's the worst. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me, and it's the best thing that ever happened
I agree.
to me. Both.
Yeah.
Very dramatic, traumatic, and I still, we've got the actual bankruptcy filing on the wall. Wow. When I filed bankruptcy out here in the Ramsey lobby when you come out here, just so you can see how this started. Yeah. And I walk by that, I still kind of go, yeah. It's like, oh, crud, But and it's been 30 years, and I still get the heebie-jeebies. But yeah, so it's not like I'm still joyful about the whole thing. But I never would have sold 10 million books selling houses. Yeah.
I feel that. I thank God that we went through that $460,000 of debt. Yeah. It sucked at the time.
I'm going to sign you up for Ken Coleman's career assessment. And it takes about 15 minutes to take. I'm going to give it to you free. And I want you to take that. And it's going to kind of point you in some directions that you probably were already thinking about, but it'll start to give you some clarity on that. And I'm also going to send you his book, From Paycheck to Purpose, because I think what you've got here is not the end of the play. I think you've got the second act. We're between the first act and the second act. And there's no rush. You said you've got 10 years before this is going to go sideways on you, so to speak. And we can take 6 months and figure this out. We do want to actively figure it out, though. We don't want to sit and let this situation happen to you.
That's right.
You want to happen to it. Be proactive. But let's determine, okay, here's the direction. And then, and let me tell you what, the direction is not go back to school.
That's a good point.
That isn't. People get this. I just go back to school for what?
Because if you don't know,
because I just go back to school. No, that's dumber than a rock. Yeah. You may be studying exactly the wrong thing, and you may not even need to go to school for what you're thinking about doing. So, when we talked to a guy the other day, he's making $300,000 a year, and he has a landscaping business. He cuts grass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shut up.
Yeah. Do not go back to school unless you've done your research. You are locked in.
You have to have it.
Yeah, you definitely don't go into debt for it.
No, but you have to have the degree or the knowledge base to open up the field. It's permission to play in the field you're going into.
Right.
Okay, and so what have we got to do there? And it could be as simple as, it may not be appealing to you, it could be as simple as you work on your master's level stuff in law enforcement administration, and you move up into leadership.
That's interesting.
And where the knee is not the problem, and that changes the whole discussion. I don't know, and maybe your love of law enforcement parlays you up into that. It's okay to be any of those, but do it intentionally. Take 2 to 3 years to get tooled up. Begin to make your move gradually, so you sneak up on this, it doesn't sneak up on you. And we'll send you the tools from Ken Coleman to help you do that. This is The Ramsey Show. It's a competitive home buying market, but there's a way you can get an edge. Churchill Mortgage works with you to understand your budget and your goals. And the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge offers you fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus, Churchill has bumped up their seller guarantee to $10,000, giving your offer the best chance of being accepted and helping you win in today's market. Go to ChurchillMortgage.com today to learn more. Thanks for joining us, America. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Jim is with us in Nashville. Hey, Jim, welcome to The Ramsey Show. How can we help?
Hey, Dave. Glad to talk to you.
You too, man.
Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
All right. I am calling in response to a video I saw recently that you claimed infinite banking concept was a scam and actually got quite pissed off about it. So I do not agree with that and certain points that you made in that video. And I have set up a policy for my son when he was 1 year old. He's 5 now.
I'm sorry.
Say that again?
I said I'm sorry.
Yeah, so am I sometimes. No. So I set that policy up for him when he was 1 year old. It has a $500,000 face value. We pay $5,373 a year for 13 years, and it's paid up at that point. There's a few points that I wanted to discuss that I just didn't agree with. Do you want to just kind of take one thing at a time?
Sure, that's fine. Sure.
Okay. One of the main things was that you claim that the cash value dies with you, and you only get the face value paid out.
That's true.
That is, well, it's not true if you reinvest the dividends back into the policy.
Dividend reinvestment is not cash value. Dividend reinvestment is because you have a mutual company, and the policyholders are the owners of the company. And so the profits from the company come to the policyholder, and they use that to buy paid-up additions. That is not the same as keeping your cash value. That's buying extra insurance with your overpayment.
But it still works out to be having a cash value much greater than the $69,849 we put into it.
But the actual cash value, not the paid-up additions, the actual cash value dies with you.
No, because
yes, it does.
But your death benefit is larger than your cash value. So for me, I looked at it
because you bought more insurance. You know what a paid-up addition is? A paid-up addition is buying additional insurance.
I understand
That's why you're getting more at death. Not because you got your cash value, but because you used your policy dividends to buy additional insurance.
Right, but
that's different than getting your cash value. If you took those policy dividends and went and bought a term insurance policy for $100,000, well, you'd get $100,000, but that's not your cash value.
Well, I have a term policy.
I know, but you missed my point. Okay, you're talking about you use the policy dividends. You use the money they send to you because you're in a mutual company to buy additional insurance.
Yes, paid up additions,
Yeah. If you buy a term policy on the side for $100,000 instead with that same money, you would get $100,000 more than your face value. But that's not your cash value. That's additional insurance. They're different.
Right, they are different. In term, you don't have cash value to borrow against.
I'm aware of that, but your point was that you don't lose the cash value, and my point is 100% of the time, by definition, you lose the cash value.
Okay, so as I said, tit for tat, if he lives to be 80, I'm looking at the readout here. If say he only lives to be 80, okay?
All right.
The cash value will be worth about $2 million, but the payout for the death benefit will be $2.6 million. So, technically, yes.
So you take the cash, you're taking your policy dividends and go buy term insurance with it, and you would have more than you're talking about because you get a better buy on the insurance than you're getting with this rip-off whole life crap.
Yes, you would get a high, but you wouldn't be able to use it throughout your life as your own bank. And I think that's
okay. But here's the thing:
the big thing
that's a side issue. That's a side issue. But your first issue was, he's going to have all this money at retirement. Well, let's just do a little present value calculation on what you put in for a baby. $5,000 a year for 13 years. Do you know what that would be in a mutual fund? At age 88? It would be $25 million, dude.
He's going to have that anyway.
No, instead of putting it into this rip-off thing and making 4% on your money, and when he dies, he loses his cash value. If you had put this in a good mutual fund, you'd have 100x, 10x the amount of money, and that's your infinite freaking bank.
But we're only putting in $70,000, and he's going to be.
Dude, that's how present value formula works in finance. Look, let me just take the same.
I mean, I understand.
Let's intellectually deal with this for a second, okay? Take the same amount of money when you get off the air and put it in a financial calculator at 11% and pretend it was invested in mutual funds and see what it is when he's 88 years old.
It'll be more.
A whole lot more.
And he'll have that too. With this, to me, is a way to.
No, he doesn't have that too.
To borrow against.
That's called opportunity cost on your money. You put it into something that's going to make him at 88 have $2.5 million, and he should have had $25 million because you screwed up and put it in the wrong thing.
Well, when we screwed up and put it in real estate too, and he's going to get real estate.
Well, then put the money in real estate. But don't put it in this crap.
I have to respectfully disagree.
Well, on what basis? He's getting more money if you put it somewhere else.
But he's able to borrow against this.
If you've got $25 million in mutual funds, you can borrow against it.
But he's going to have to wait until he's retired to get that amount of money.
Okay, so you're going to teach him that the way he becomes wealthy is borrowing against money that his father invested for him. That's how he builds wealth. Said no one rich ever.
I mean, banks use this product to.
No, they do not. You've been watching too much TikTok. Banks do not use whole life. Not ever. Banks nowhere. No banks sell.
I would respectfully disagree.
No, they don't. They do not use whole life insurance.
What bank?
Well, we Google it and see what typically banks do with their money, but I believe
typically banks never put money. Let me tell you what banks do. They put it in bonds. They're required to. They wouldn't be allowed by federal regulations to put it in whole life. It's not a place to invest money because it's a horrible investment. The rate of return 4%. Sucks, and when you die, you lose your cash value.
I know, but you also you're making it sound like I'm losing money on the whole.
You are. You're leaving money on the table.
You're making it sound like when not me, but my son, when he dies,
yeah,
that he's only going to be able to get
He's going to have $22 million less than he should have if you had put this in a good investment.
Well, you had mentioned that the cash value dies and you only get the face value. That's
Correct.
Not true.
That is true.
That's not.
I just covered that with you for the last 10 minutes. Paid up additions are the only way that cash value increases unless you're using a universal life program B where you pay extra to get the extra insurance, which is another form of paid up additions.
That isn't coming out of my pocket, though. I put $70,000.
It is coming out of your pocket.
It's coming out of the policy's pocket.
I know. The policy, you put the money in, dude. And then it paid you a dividend, and you chose to buy more of this crap with the dividend, and you're calling that I kept my cash value. No, you didn't. You bought more insurance.
Well, I know that I put in $70,000, and at a certain age, it's going to be at age when he's 15 years old. That's going to be paid up.
Yeah, Jim, and you understand what paid up is. You understand if you're alive that there's a probability of your death, and so 100% of the time that a life insurance program is paid up, it means that you prepaid it. That's all it means. Because as long as there's a probability of death, there's a cost. So the insurance company has always got a cost as long as you're alive. So there is no such thing as a paid up. That's an industry term that gets suckers like you. That's what it is. No, paid up means prepaid. You paid all of the premiums in 13 years for his whole freaking life in advance. That's why it's paid up. Hey, man, I think you ought to keep it. It's perfect for you. But thanks for the call.
What's up, guys? It's Jade. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. KC starts off this hour in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, KC. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm a Army recruiter, and I recruit for active duty in the reserve.
Thank you.
And thank you. I appreciate it. But when I talk to kids about active duty, it's easy when we're talking about college because the Army would just pay 100% tuition and give them a paycheck.
Absolutely.
When I talk about the reserve, it gets a bit more complicated. And part of the incentive for the reserve is that we have a student loan repayment up to like $50,000. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what advice to give to these young men and women when I'm sitting down with them. So right now I'm telling them, hey, take out this student loan and the Army will pay it back for you, but put it in a CD and keep it safe and then use it as like I'm getting out of the Army bonus. Mm-hmm. After it's been paid off. But I don't know if that's good advice because I don't like to give advice that says, hey, take on debt. But I don't know what else to tell them because it's free money for them.
I appreciate that. Well, that'll work only if it works. And, you're asking an 18-year-old to be smart. And you're in the Army. You know better.
Right, and a lot of times I sit down with the parents and the kid, and I tell the parents,
but you know what I'm saying. And so now we do some work with the Air National Guard and the Army National Guard both, and they have a $10,000 tuition program. Does the reserves not have that too?
So we do. We actually have it's $4,000 a year of tuition assistance, and we also have a monthly stipend that goes up to $1,000 a month as well, and that has nothing else added to or like.
But the $1,000 a month, that stipend is just a reserve stipend. That's not for education only, right?
No, that's for education only.
Oh, really?
And they also have their regular paycheck as well.
Okay, so they got their regular paycheck, and they get $1,000 a month if they want to go to school stipend and $4,000 reimbursement.
It's a $4,000 tuition assistance. They pay the school directly up to $4,000 a year.
Per year?
Per year.
And the $12,000 goes how long? How long can you get the $1,000? How many years?
As long as you're getting your first degree.
Okay, so you could do 4 years, which would be $48,000, and you could do 4 times, so $16,000.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be they only get the paycheck while they're in school, the extra $1,000 a month while they're in school. So in the summertime, they don't get that pay.
Okay. Oh, so it's not a full $12,000 a year. All right. So it would be $9,000 a year. So let's
call
it So we call that $38,000, right, or $37,000 and $36,000. I'm sorry, and and then we get $16,000 on top of that, which is the 4 years of $4,000. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than $50,000, dude.
Right.
And they don't have to take out the loan.
Okay. I just like to give them as much money as I can.
I appreciate that. I would not ask them to step up on the. So here's my principle. Number one, I don't borrow money. You know that principle. You knew that before you called. And again, thank you for your service and for what you do. Okay, but the other principle it's violating for me is okay. Almost every time that you borrow money, it only works if it works. And life doesn't always work. And so you've got this plan. I'm going to open a business, and I'm going to borrow $10,000, and I'm going to make $100,000 until you fall off the tractor, break your hip, and you lose everything, and now you've just got the debt, and you don't have the business, okay? Or until, it works if I buy a car on payments, until I lose my job and I can't pay the payments and it gets repo. It works if they do this, until. It only works if it works. And in our minds, when we analyze using debt, we only analyze the if it works part, not if it doesn't work part, the risk part. And the second thing another principle we use around here is I like to put my life on wise autopilot and avoid stupid autopilot. Autopilot mean that it automatically is going to be smart even if I leave it alone. And I don't have to assume that an 18-year-old suddenly is going to be, with the help of his parents or without, wise and keep in control until he's 25 and not screw this up. I mean, you're just asking for trouble here.
That's very good.
You've been, you recruit these guys every day.
I know. I just trying to give them the best advice I can.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I don't even get to say if they take the money out or not, because
I'm not going to ask.
Incentive with or without me.
I've done youth ministry, and I'm not going to ask those people at that age with that level of brain development to take on the level of discipline and leave their hands off of this and not go to Hawaii with their girlfriend using this money. Sure. I'm just not going to ask them to do that because it's going to get screwed up.
It'll never happen.
It's going to get screwed up. So I would, I think you guys got a great program with the stipend. I knew there was about $10,000, like the reserve, like the National Guard has, but I didn't know exactly what it was. So $9,000 if you take the summer off. But if you go to school all summer, do you get the stipend still?
Yeah. As long as you're pursuing school, you get the stipend.
Okay, so if you just went to school, if you went to school 12 months a year,
a master's degree.
If you went to school 12 months a year for 4 years, you'd get $48,000
plus the $4,000 a year.
Maximum is 36 months.
Oh, okay.
So if you did
it does max out at 4 years on 9 months then. Okay. So you might as well not. Okay, so we'll do the 4 years of 9 months. Get the $36,000. I'll get the $16,000 reimbursement as well, and so that puts me at what $52,000, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's a great benefit. A kid that is trying to figure out a way to go to college, you can go to college by joining the reserves.
Right, they can still get FAFSA, and they can still get all the other scholarships.
Yeah, we just gave you a great commercial.
I appreciate that.
But I believe in it. I mean, we endorse the National Guard and the Air National Guard both. They're some of our sponsors on different things because of this subject. This is the reason they come to us, and the reason we like to endorse them is because we freaking hate student loans. And you do too, KC. You're a good man. Thank you.
He's got a great heart. He wants to make sure these kids
get all they can get.
Yeah.
I mean, but I I wouldn't go with the risk on the loan.
No, you can't. You can't trust 18-year-olds to.
I wouldn't trust me at 18, and I was a
Yeah.
little nerd.
Me too. I was a goody two shoes, and I would have.
I wasn't a goody two shoes, but I was a math nerd, and I was always trying to scheme and scam, figure out a way to make it work. I would have been the guy that did that.
Yeah, you would have.
And
seen
then I
me
would have
with
been
a
the
new
guy who went to
bag.
Hawaii too.
I was going to say I would have had a new purse in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I wouldn't have had a purse, but there's that.
Thank God.
Yeah, that was long ago. There were no Merces in those days. Oh my goodness gracious!
No man
Lord,
bags.
help us, Jesus. This is the Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Jade Washoe, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Landon is in South Bend, Indiana. Hey, Landon, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. How can we help?
Hey, so I'm a new home buyer or homeowner, and I did get it financed, and I'm basically in a situation to where the money that I make, I am spending on my bills and paying for mortgage. And I am just curious, what is the best way to get to financial freedom from where I'm at?
It sounds like you maybe bought too much house and you don't have margin. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, basically, long story short, I was renting from my employer, which is also my brother-in-law, and...
I'm sorry. That sounds like a horrible situation, but keep going.
Well, it's not a horrible situation, but basically they offered to finance a house for me because I wanted to put that money towards a house versus just renting. And so they, I didn't have anything to put down, so they financed it 100%. And it's at 7% interest.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's
basically
the payment?
I was able, the payment's $1,100.
And how much do you make every month?
Right now my bring home is $36.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to feel that.
Yeah.
You're going to feel that. So
yeah,
here's what we need to do. If we're going to make this work long term, because the house is still in your name, right? They just gave you the money for the down payment, right?
correct.
Okay. If you're going to make this work long haul, we need to get this to where it's no more than 25%, right? Just so you can breathe. Do you have any other debt?
I have about $3,000 I owe on my truck, and that is through them as well, but that is interest-free.
Why do you keep borrowing money through your workplace?
Like I said, it's family, and they were just trying to help me get basically a leg up and get started. I was in a bad situation, and so they're offering to help.
How old are you, Landon?
22.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a maintenance manager at their shopping center.
Okay. All right. They are trying to do a nice thing for you, but they have done it in such a way that it is a curse and not a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you called because you can't breathe.
Right.
And you owe all this money to your brother-in-law, who also is your employer. And so if you screw up making a payment, it affects your job. If you screw up your job, it affects whether you keep your truck.
It's all linked. It's all
this
linked
is
together.
also intertwined. That you're walking around carrying 300 or 400 pounds on your back all day long trying to breathe. I'm so sorry. And again, I don't think they did this to harm you. They were trying to be helpful, but but sir, you have a curse on you.
Yeah.
And so
and the reason, let's just get this going, moving forward, the reason that you had to borrow money for a truck is because you couldn't afford a truck. And the reason that you had to borrow the money to buy a house is because you couldn't afford to buy a house.
You bought a house that you really can't afford, and you're 22 years old. And it's, man, my heart's hurting for you right now, because, I mean, you got a lot of pressure on you, man. And so now the house was theirs and they sold it to you, right?
No, it was actually a private sale.
Oh, they went and bought a house, or they gave you the cash to go buy a house, and they financed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So what do you owe on this house?
Right now I owe right around, I think it's $158,000.
Okay. All right. Do you have any idea, when did you buy it?
I bought it in, I guess I would have bought it in May.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it's worth?
It appraises for $180,000.
Sell it.
Okay.
Dude, you can't breathe.
Let me ask a question. I have a question about this. If you turn around and sell this house, are you worried about what they're going to think? That you just used them to get this house so that you could turn a profit?
Not really just that. I mean, I would be lying if I said that wasn't on my mind.
I would go in and sit down with your brother-in-law and say, I made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I can't pay this payment and the truck payment on my income. I can't breathe. The stress is killing me. I'm going to sell the house, and I don't want you to think I'm doing it because I tricked you, and I don't want you to think I'm ungrateful. I am not ungrateful, and I didn't trick you. I can't breathe, and I'm putting the house on the market. That's what I would do.
That's the conversation.
I don't think you're going to do that, because I don't think you're in as much pain as I think you should be.
Well, if he can find $1,000 extra a month, if he can find a way to permanently get his income up, get rid of this truck payment, he might be able to. He would be able to continue on, considering that's his only debt. We didn't get far enough into it.
Let me just tell you, it's a bad idea to owe your house payment to your employer.
Who's also your brother-in-law.
It's a bad idea to owe your house payment to your brother-in-law.
Woo-hoo.
It is a XXX bad idea to owe it to your brother-in-law, who is your employer.
Man.
There's so many things that can go wrong with this that have lifetime implications.
Thanksgiving
that
dinner
are
tastes
not a
like
blessing.
copper.
And again, I don't think the brother-in-law's a bad guy. I think he's just dumb. And he was trying to do a nice thing and he did it in a dumb way without thinking about. He made the assumption that this young man needs to own a house and he's wasting money when he's renting, and we're going to get him a house, and we did him a favor, and that's what's going through this guy's mind. But he's wrong. He made a mistake.
I mean, it's the equivalent. All of that, co-signing, I'm going to buy my kids a house, all these things, I'm going to buy land, and then the kids can live on the house. All those ideas where you're trying to manipulate someone else's financial situation, they can't afford it. That's why they don't have it. And if you don't,
the reason your grandson needs a cosigner for the Raptor is because he's too broke to buy a Raptor.
He can't afford it.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is not hard. And Landon, that's you. You're too broke to have bought this house. You shouldn't have bought it. And you bought a house you can't afford. It's not a super expensive house. Yeah. And it sounds like the good news is you can get out of it and with your skin intact. I don't think you're going to sell it, though, in talking to you.
Well, he's 22. He doesn't need to have a brand new house and a brand new truck.
It's not,
or a truck.
a used house and a used truck.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. It's I would get the truck pay. I'd sell the house. I'd pay off the truck. And I'd start piling up money. And I'd start working on my career goals. And what am I going to be when I'm 32?
Yeah.
And what am I going to be doing that I make 60, 80, 100,000 when I'm 32? And because you don't want to be doing exactly the same thing, no matter what you're doing when you're 22, when you're 32.
And
so
the way he has that conversation, though, is key.
Yeah, you got to go in there and just play the cards and say what happened. But if you got to believe that, too. I'm not sure he believes that.
No, I don't know that he believes it's the right answer, but he did say it was bothering him. Look, if I was a certain type of person and I said, hey, I'm going to help you get in this house, I would never do that. But I could see how they might go, oh, you just wanted us to flip this house for you.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to say out loud, this is, you know, I'm scared to death.
Yeah.
And they don't get to talk you out of it. You're still going to sell it.
Right.
But you just let them know. Two problems. You know, one is, two things. I didn't buy it to flip. And two is I'm not ungrateful, but the reason I'm selling it is I'm so scared I can't. I'm scared spitless,
right.
and this is killing me. I'm carrying 300 pounds around on my back.
Yeah, that's connected to my job and my family.
Yeah, exactly, which is like a triple X reason not to do that. Oh my gosh, extra large large problem, a triple X problem.
Bricks in the backpack.
Extra large, extra large. This is the Ramsey Show. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Yrefi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Yrefi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Yrefi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. Thank you for joining us, America. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. She and Rachel Cruz and I will be co-hosting each other, or whatever you call it, all together on a live stream this coming Tuesday. And that is September the 12th at 7 p.m. Central Time. It is completely free. It is student loan debt in America, how we got here and how to get out. There is a lot of extremely bogus programs coming out of Washington right now that are really misleading and scary. And we want to not just beat up on Washington, although that's a lot of fun. But aside from that, what we really want to do is just show you guys some hope, some actual facts of people that got out. Jade got out of $280,000. $280,000. I keep trying to call it 260.
Don't shortchange me the 20.
Don't shortchange that 20. All right, $280,000. She and Sam worked their tail ends off. $465,000 total in debt that they cleared up. It took them a long time. It took them 7 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to take you guys that long because most of you, A, don't have $475,000 in debt. B, you probably are in a different place than they were when they started this. So there's a whole story there. She's going to tell you that story. But we're also going to just show you story after story after story of people who did just like you. Single moms, people who lost their job, people who couldn't get a job in their career field, and they still figured out a way to do this. And we'll help you. We're going to show you how. I know it's confusing. I know it's scary. And so sign up. Go to RamseySolutions.com/student loans. Sign up for the free live stream. It is this coming Tuesday night. Do not miss it. It's free. What do you got to lose?
Your student loans.
Oh! That was an underhand pitch.
It was.
Tiffany is with us from Chicago. Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
I have a question about my car. I am upside down in my car loan, but it is my only primary source of transportation, and I have 2 children that I have to take care of, so I don't know what to do.
You single?
I am.
Okay.
How much is the car worth?
The car is worth $5,000, give or take a couple hundred, and the car loan is $20,000.
What? How in the world? Wow.
How'd you get so far upside down?
Well, when I bought the car, it was at one of those buy here, pay here shops, and I really just needed a car because I had to get back and forth to work and take care of the kids.
So you got screwed.
Pretty much. I now know that now. A year after I paid for it, or I'm paying for it.
So you overpaid for it. Did you trade a car that had negative equity into it?
No.
Wow, you just really overpaid.
You overpaid. Yeah. You overpaid $10,000?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I did. I really was I wasn't knowledgeable enough to know what I was getting myself into, and I just really needed a car.
Okay, let me stop you a second. So is the note still at the note lot?
Yes.
Okay, the payment the payoff they're giving you is not the payoff. Okay. That's what's called, there's 2 ways to calculate a rip-off car loan. Okay, and this is a rip-off car loan, no doubt about it. Okay, subprime lending. What one way they calculate is you ask them what's your loan balance, and the way they keep the loan balance on the books is called TOP, total of payments, which is a total of all your payments over the whole time, including the ridiculous butt interest rate that they're charging you. That is $20,000.
Okay.
You do not owe $20,000 on the car, though. That's just if you pay every payment and add them all together.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
That's a TOP calculation, and that's the account balance. That is different than the payoff balance in a Now, in a regular car loan, they're the same thing. The payoff and the account are the same thing. They just keep your account balance. Your principal balance is all they give you. But on a rip-off loan, on a subprime loan, they'll put it on the books as a TOP. And what that does is it takes all your hope away, and you feel stuck, which is why you called. So the good news is the payoff on that car is, what's the interest rate? 17? 15?
I think it's 23.
Yeah, okay, good.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's even better news because that means that the 20 includes all that.
Okay.
So that tells me the payoff on this car is probably closer to 10.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you just call them and say, I want to know.
So how bad's your credit?
It's pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
It's
horrible.
High 4s.
Terrible.
Couldn't be any worse. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you're single mom. What do you make?
I bring home probably $3,100 a month.
What do you do?
I'm a retail supervisor.
How old are your babies?
My son is going to be 12 tomorrow, and my baby is 9 months.
Who watches the baby during the day?
I They go between my mother and their father.
Okay, good. So do you have any other debt besides this car?
Yes.
Can you go through that?
I have probably maybe about $6,000 in credit card loan or credit cards. I have about $73,000 in student loans, and I probably have about $5,000 in regular loans, and then I probably have, I think, another $13,000 in a car that I totaled.
What was the
And
insurance
no
from that? Oh, no insurance.
Yeah, no insurance.
Hey, what's your degree in?
I didn't even graduate.
Okay.
I just kind of floated through school and then
How old are you?
ended up having a baby. I am 33.
Okay. All right, girlfriend. We do have a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And
yes.
Everything you told us in that list adds up to chaos.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of chaos in your life, and there has been for an extended period of time.
Yes.
In order to clean up the finances, we also have to clean up the chaos.
Yes.
Because the chaos is causing you to feel desperate and stuck, and right after I get desperate, I get stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And so have you a time or two.
Yes.
You feel stuck and desperate, and you go to a car and tote the note lot and get ripped off because you didn't feel like there's anything else you could do because you were desperate.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got to calm down, back up, and say, all right, couple things. Number one, Tiffany, one of the things I discovered, because I grew up without any money. Did you grow up without money?
Yes.
Yeah. And I found out that rich people think different.
Mm-hmm.
They think every time they make a decision, how does this affect me 10 years from today? When I grew up, we thought about how Friday was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Thank God it's Friday, oh God, it's Monday.
Right.
And we turned up the music about 4 o'clock Friday afternoon and tried to forget that Monday was coming. And that makes you broke. When your planning window is short, you make dumber decisions than if you have a long-term planning window. Rich people think when they buy a car, how's this going to play out in 10 years? You thought, I got to get to work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And so what I want you to do is slow down. And with every decision you make from the day forward about money and about your career, I want you to think about 42-year-old Tiffany and how she's going to like this version of Tiffany that's 32.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we're going to think like rich people. We're going to think long term. And then that'll draw you up out of the mud of the chaos slowly.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to be slowly.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's do 2 steps that I can think of, and then you jump in, okay? I got to get these out of my system before
Keep
I do.
going.
Number one, I want to do, I'm out of time.
Go ahead, Dave.
Hang on through the break. Hang on through the break. Can you?
Absolutely.
Because you need some help, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't just dump you into a commercial break. So you hang on. We're going to come back and give you some actual marching orders, okay?
Okay, thank you.
We'll be right back. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with a daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We're talking with Tiffany in Chicago. She has a 9-month-old, a 12-month-old. She's making $3,100 a month. She has a car that is valued at about $5,000. We think the payoff is around $10,000 with a tote the note lot. She's got a lot of other miscellaneous debts and has had, and we established early, a lot of chaos and disorganization in her process, and we're discussing what her next steps are. So, Jade, I'll let you jump in.
Yeah, I think right now, obviously, we've got a bit of an income problem, and I want to try to find where we can find some of this money. So my first question to you, Tiffany, is what's your living situation? Are you living with anybody? Is anyone living with you? Tell me about that.
Oh, well, let me try that, picking up the line. That'll help. Okay. Now, go ahead, Tiffany.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was our fault. I didn't pick up the line.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can now.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's happening?
What happened? What happened?
So, yeah, I live alone. It's just me and my kids, and I rent. And my rent's probably like $1,200. So,
good. So $1,200 rent. I want to know, are you getting a tax return every year?
A little bit. I've adjusted that to not get one because I have been trying to get out of this mess since I've known that it was mess, and I've kind of listened a lot to Dave Ramsey, and I bought the Total Money Makeover, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a light to my eyes, and I feel so much less stressed.
Good.
So I have adjusted that to make sure if I do get anything, it's very minimal, so I can make sure I can pay my bills.
Okay. And how many hours a week are you working?
I work 80, and if they offer overtime, I am the first one to volunteer.
You work 80?
Well, $40. I'm 40 hours.
40. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say we need a different job if that's what it's getting you. But at 40, and I know you've got the kids, it sounds like you've got some family in the area that'll help you. You got to. At this point, it's an equation, right? We got to make a bigger shovel because you have a big hole, right, to fill up. And that's going to look like you looking for employment that at the core earns more, right? So I want you to start, beefing up the resume. I want you to start looking for jobs that you can transfer your skill set. And so before we get off the line, we're going to get you hooked up with Ken Coleman stuff. I'm sure you've seen it, but we'll make sure you have that because I want your core income to be bigger. When Sam and I were paying off our debt, when we started, we were making $30,000. That is unsustainable. We could do all the side hustles in the world, and it wouldn't have made a difference. So you got to get the core income up, and then in the meantime, while you're working towards that, you do need the side hustles.
Also, yeah. So basically, those two things together will double your income on the short term. On the short term.
Okay.
And you can do that.
And then we can start cleaning this up. Now, you said you had a repo debt of how much?
$13,000.
Okay, and what was the other debts other than the $5,000 or the $10,000 on the car?
$6,000 in credit cards. Probably like another $6. This is off the top of my head. I'm sorry. Probably like another $6 in loans. $73 in student loans. I think that's it.
Okay.
About $100,000.
Yeah. So you're not paying on the student loans yet.
No.
You're not paying on the $13,000 repo at this point, are you?
No.
Good. Okay. So you've only got the credit cards and the other loan that you're paying a little bit on. We're going to cut up the credit cards. You've already probably done that after reading Total Money Makeover.
Absolutely.
So here's the thing. One of the things I discovered, I told you I didn't grow up with money. One of the things I discovered was I could learn from anybody about anything by reading. You read The Total Money Makeover and it helped you. Agreed?
Yes.
So if I stack books on you right now, will you read them? Because I'm going to give you a bunch of them if you'll do it.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to send you Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose. We're also going to set you up with his assessment because I want you to aim at a long-term career. Right now, we're going to get the core income up and the side hustle, like Jade said. But I want you to think about who Tiffany's going to be when she is 30 and when she's 42, and what are you going to be doing? You're going to be an executive sitting in an office, corner office somewhere, smiling, making $100,000 doing what? I don't care. You go to code school. I don't care what you're going to do. All right, but you figure that out. All right. Then the second thing I want you to do is I want you to go to. Let me see here. I'm going to get this up. Go to listen to this podcast. Craig Groeschel, and the last name is Groeschel. He's a pastor. He has a leadership podcast. The guest on the podcast, like 3 or 4 episodes back, was an African-American lady, came from where you are. She's now the president of the Dallas Mavs.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
And she was the CEO of AT&T at one point. She's a force to be reckoned with. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to the podcast. She was inspiring to me, and she will be to you, because I want her future. I want her situation to be your future. Okay?
Okay.
I want you thinking like that, because I want you to break this cycle for your 9-month-old and for your 12-year-old. It stops with you. Okay?
Okay.
And then we're going to give you Ken Coleman's book, Paycheck to Purpose. I gave you that to listen to. Now, then the first thing, we can scratch money together. I don't want you to pay anything on student loans. Just don't pay them right now. Forget them.
Okay.
Even though they come up in October, just don't pay them. Just forget them.
Don't do the on-ramp, though.
Don't do anything. Just ignore them.
No, if you ignore them, it'll put you on the on-ramp and the interest will accrue.
Okay, go in and do the stupid save thing.
Yes, and
do the $30 or whatever it is.
It'll be zero. It'll be zero for you.
Yeah, and just don't worry about paying on the student loan, but pay the minimum. Right. You can get in the new Save program. It's a horrible program, but it at least
we have a plan at the end. We're
going to pay it off later, but right now I'm minimizing your outflow because I need you to gather up a couple $1,000s for a car. When you got a couple $1,000s for a car, I want you to walk in to this Tote the Note dealer and tell them you talked to your financial counselor who said that they should talk to you about taking this car back with no repossession. You've already paid enough on it. Give them the keys. Have them sign a paper you owe nothing. Don't give them the keys unless you get this. Sign the title over to them and wash your hands of this car and walk away. They will do that deal because they do it every day. It's their whole game plan. Their business model is overpriced cars, over-interest cars, so they take them back and resell them. It's how they function. And so you've already paid enough on it. They've made profit on you. And if they say, we won't do that, say, my financial counselor told me I should talk to an attorney. Should I do that? Or do you guys want to do this? Because your financial counselor is me, and I just told you that.
Right.
Okay? So you see what we're doing. We're scaring them because the contract that they have is probably bustable with a lawyer, but I don't want to spend money on a lawyer. I just want to bluff these rednecks into taking the car back.
Okay.
And they take it back, no repo and no deficit. They don't get anything on you. And then you go buy a $2,000 car with cash.
And not from there.
And not cash, not from them. Just go find one in the freaking Craigslist. It's a garage sale car. Who cares?
Okay.
It's a short-term thing. We're going to get a better car in 2 years anyway. We're not going to drive this car for very long. Okay. Then you're going to get the loan paid off and the credit cards paid off, and then we're going to reach over and do the same thing with that student loan, with that deficit on that car. That car repo. You can settle that $13,000 debt for about $2,000 or $3,000 if you call them up with cash in your pocket and say, well, I can settle this right now. I'm a single mom. I'm a bankruptcy looking for a place to happen. Are you guys sure you'd want this on the books, or do you want to take $3,000 as settlement in full? Settlement in full is your big word. You use that with the Tote the Note dealer. When I give you this car back, it's settlement in full, and I want a statement, a paper showing that. Otherwise, I got to go talk to my attorney, and I don't want to do that. Please, let's just take this deal and be done with it. Same thing with these guys with the repo. Okay, so a couple grand here or there, we got you a car and got rid of most of your debt.
Right.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm talking this time next year, girl, you have no debt.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
If you do the
is
stuff
gonna
I
be
just told
amazing.
you to do.
Like, that would be amazing.
It will be amazing.
Do you understand what I just told you to do? Do you have any questions about it?
I do not. I wrote everything down.
Okay. And you call us back if you're in the middle of this and you got a question.
I know, that's right.
And if
Okay.
you want me to call the Tote the Note guy, I will. Give me a call.
And if you need a
That
lawyer,
would be fun.
If you need a letter from a lawyer, you better call me because my brother's a lawyer. I'll get you one in 2 seconds, girl.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
We're helping her. We're doing this.
You're going to turn this around. This ends with you. The cycle breaks with you, Tiffany. And so hang on. We're going to send you every bit of that stuff. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Thank you for joining us. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. The phone number is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Karen is in Denver to start this hour. Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm great, Dave and Jay. Thank you so much for taking my call. You're my two favorite personalities, so honored to be here, and also a little bit nervous.
Well, thank you. We won't tell the other ones.
I might tell Ken.
We might tell Ken. Yeah.
Jade, and I love your term skinny fat because I totally identify with that from a financial aspect, not so much food.
Yes, ma'am. How can we help you?
Dave, I'm 62 and debt-free except for mortgages. I do have a rental property that's free and clear, and I know how you feel about selling those to get out of debt. If I sell this rental property, I will be close to debt-free, but I owe the IRS, when I sell that property, I've had it 20 years, I will owe the IRS about $65,000. So you've never really discussed kind of, your thoughts on how your desire for us to become debt-free relates to making that big payment to the IRS. Are you still good with go ahead, sell that thing, pay the IRS, and be done?
Probably. But, I always just try to figure out if there's another way to skin a cat rather than give the government money, right? My first goal,
right.
The reason I want anybody to be debt-free, including me, is it's the shortest distance to wealth.
Right, I get that.
And stability.
Yep,
so it's not, what Dave wants doesn't really matter. But, where does it take you is what matters. So let's get you there. You're 62. You owe what on your current home?
I owe, I made another mistake. I bought a property where I'm going to retire someday, and I know that's not something that you're fond of. I owe $395 on that. The house I live in, I owe $40 on, and then the other rental property I owe $0 on. It's free and clear.
Okay, the house you owe $40 on is worth. The house you owe $40 on is worth what?
It's about worth $425.
Okay, and the house that you owe $395 on is located where?
It's in California. It's worth $800.
Okay.
Wow.
And no one lives in it.
Wants to.
No one lives in it.
Yes, it's rented.
Oh, it's rented. Okay,
yes.
So you have two rental properties. One of them you intend to retire in.
Correct.
And when do you intend to retire?
That all depends on how you help me with this question. Probably within 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
It'll be partial retirement. I'll never completely retire. I'm your age. I'm not ready to retire just yet.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I'm trying to figure out the timing on this.
No, I get it.
So why California? Why Northern California?
Actually, I have family there, and I would like to be near a body of water. I've been landlocked my entire life, and I'm also tired of the cold.
Okay, so this is near the ocean.
Correct.
Like Sonoma or something like that.
Ooh, that's nice.
Well, it's actually Southern California.
Oh,
It's,
southern. I thought you said
Diego.
northern.
I did
Okay.
too. That's still very nice.
Okay.
I might have because I am a little nervous.
That's okay. That's okay.
Is it your work? Is it your work that's preventing you from?
What's the? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm Mike. I'm looking at these numbers. And I'm like, okay, you want to be in Southern California. You've got a rental that's free and clear that you don't want to pay the IRS debt on. You've got a home worth $40,000, or that you owe $40,000, worth $425.
You could sell
Why
now
don't
and
you
move
sell
down
it
there
now and
if
go?
You could work
Yeah.
there.
That's what I'm getting at.
Well, I'm self-employed as a realtor, so I would need
yeah,
to
you'd have to start over.
Start a new business.
Yeah, you have to
see.
start over.
I
That
see.
doesn't sound fun. Okay. All right. What's the rental worth?
The one that I'm considering selling, I could probably sell it for $350-ish.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got $1 million in equity between these three.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's just the scrambled eggs that's driving us nuts. Okay.
Right, and I'm just.
And how did you come up with a $65,000 gain? Did you have your tax person calculate that with your adjusted basis?
Yeah, my CPA estimates that's about what I'll owe because I've had it for 20 years, and then that and my income, I guess.
Okay, so concern number one is debt-free is the shortest distance to wealth. Concern number two is when you retire, a paid-for property is essential that you live in is essential for stability because it's your largest item. And if you retire at 65 years old and you live to 95, you've got 30 years of rent increases. You know this as a real estate agent. You do not want to be a renter for the next 30 years or have a mortgage. You want a paid-for piece of real estate that you live in at retirement. So these are our goals.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to sell this rental. It's just a matter of when.
Correct. I'm going to sell it regardless because it's 40 years old and it's time to go back to the universe. So I would end up buying a little
You're going to sell it, and you're going to sell it when you move to California and you retire and you sell the house you live in, or you're going to sell it now and reduce the mortgage pay off the little $40,000 mortgage, or reduce the other mortgage, finish that California mortgage off when you retire and sell the house you live in, right? Correct. So it doesn't matter. You're going to sell this. You're not going to keep it 25 years. So, it's just a matter of when you pay the 65, not if.
Right. Good. So, well, I mean, I could 1031 exchange it forever, but I'm tired of tenants, toilets, and trash, quite frankly.
Yeah, I want your California house paid off, and it's not paid off with the sale of your personal residence.
Right.
Correct.
So I got to get there, and so since I got to get there, I got to sell the rental now or when you retire and move to California. I'm catching on now. I'm seeing the scrambled eggs. Okay. So, go ahead and sell it just because you're going to sell it anyway.
Okay.
Don't give it away. There's no rush. There's no...
I was going to say, if you don't...
Pay off the 40. Have you got enough in the bank to pay off your house?
No, not right this moment.
You don't have $40,000 laying around?
Well, I do, but it's for Uncle Sam.
It's for Uncle Sam?
It's your real estate.
It's your quarterlies, but you don't have any other non-retirement investments laying around. You can just knock your house out.
Correct.
Okay. Well, then sell the rental, pay off your house, pay the 65, throw the rest of it at the California. Then when you retire, sell your house and pay your house off in California.
That ain't bad.
That gets us there.
Yeah.
Took a minute.
It took a minute. Part of me is like, okay, if she's still got 2 years, she could possibly let it accumulate a little bit more value for 2 years before she sells it right before she goes to California. I mean, it's not a lot, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Trying to get this money.
That would work too. She's tired of it. I'm tired of it.
She is tired of it.
About it.
Let it go.
This is the Ramsey Show. Jade Washaw, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, guys, if you want to help us out, we'd appreciate it. You know, we provide this show as a podcast, as a YouTube show, as a radio show, as a TBN show, as a free service to you guys, and we appreciate you hanging out with us. We would also appreciate it if you would click subscribe or click follow or share the show just by telling someone about it, or actually cut the link out, email it to your friend and go, hey, listen to this. Or if your particular, whether it's Spotify or Apple or whatever, has, Google Play, if they have a share feature, just click the share feature and you can share it. Sometimes it's that easy. Sometimes it's you're listening on talk radio and you say, hey, our local talk radio station has the Ramsey Show. However you share it, we appreciate it. Our question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services when you need to make repairs, schedule routine maintenance, or find local help for home improvement projects. Neighborly is your source for reliable home service providers in your area. Go to neighborly.com to start your search.
All right. Today's question comes from Carolyn in Arizona. She says, when you have a company match, does that count towards your 15%? My husband's work has a 3% match. We invest 3% of his gross into an RSP, which I believe is a Canadian 401k, and the employer contributes 3%. Would you say that this is a 3% or a 6% contribution towards our 15%? That was a lot of numbers, but basically she's talking about, we say in baby step 4, that is the time that we want you to start investing 15% of your gross income into your retirement, okay?
Yeah, at the core of this question, Carolyn, is don't ask how little can I invest, because the more you invest, the more money you have. Mm-hmm. Ask how can I invest more?
More. That's good.
Don't try to figure out a way to do less. Figure out a way to do more.
And then here's the other thing. If you switch jobs, you might get to a job where there's no match or there's less match. You don't know what the future holds. And so I think it's always good to practice the muscle of investing your 15% of your dollars.
Money, yeah, because the match and the pensions and all that stuff are gravy. That's not money. That's not your money. You invest 15% of your money, you'll become wealthy. Mm-hmm. The other gravy you'll add to it.
Yeah, and that's going to be great.
And that's the way to get at this. Good job. Good job. Nancy's in Chicago. Hi, Nancy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I want to know what you would suggest a person would do after the U.S. switches to a digital currency. What should people do who currently use cash as a budgeting tool?
Well, the first thing is I'm going to suggest you quit reading so many articles on the internet, because the U.S. is not going to switch to 100% digital. That's the gold. People that are trying to sell gold on Fox News commercials that are telling you that. Because there's not the U.S. Here's the thing, Nancy. The U.S. is about 95% digital now. Mm-hmm. Almost all of our transactions move a digit from one account to another now. If you write a check, it's a digit. It's not cash. If you use a debit card, it's a digit, not cash. If you have direct deposit from Social Security or direct deposit from your work, it's not cash, it's a digit. Those are all digital transactions. If you buy a house and you wire money from your mutual fund to your closing attorney, it's a digit. Almost, if you buy a car these days, I bought a car the other day, I wired money to the dealer. It's a digit. I didn't walk over there with a suitcase of cash. And so the vast majority of transactions, 90-something% of them, probably north of 95% in the U.S. are already digital. But is the U.S. going to do away with the greenback? Not in my lifetime or yours.
I sure hope you're right, because I've been worrying about this, because I'm a person that can't have a credit card, because if I spend money just by swiping, it doesn't register with me, and it'll just evaporate.
Now, I'm a person that has a redneck emergency fund in my front pocket. It's $1,000 in $100 bills. I've carried it most of my life in my wallet. And so I'm with you. I'm a cash dude. And I'm not above walking up and actually making somebody learn how to make change for the first time at the register all day. And so I'm that guy. So I'm right with you. But I truly don't think we're going to do away with currency. And most of what you're reading has a fear factor to get you to buy gold, or it is some kind of conspiracy theory stuff on BRICS or any of these other things that are going around just to make us worry that the entire U.S. economy is so fragile that it's going to collapse because Russia, which isn't, their economy is hardly the size of Texas, is going to do something. Russia's not going to do spit. They don't have the muscle to. They can't even feed their own people. And so, it just, Nancy, whatever it is that you're reading that's causing you to worry, quit reading it. It's scary.
It is scary. I know people have different thoughts around all of that, but then there's parts of me that I think about. There's so many things that have happened throughout history that we, who are used to those things, we look at this and go, yeah, it's just part of life. But as it was occurring, people were probably like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I mean, cars. The cars that we have today, there was a time where that wasn't a thing. Flying airplanes, like all of those things, you could look back and go, oh my gosh, there was a time when this wasn't a thing. And maybe, who knows, and the next lifetime, the next generation, they will live in a different sort of currency.
But we already have. We already are. I mean, you think about when I was a kid, the number of checks we wrote.
Yeah, you don't do that anymore.
The number of times you see someone write a check at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Today?
Do they even take
You're
checks?
much more likely to see them using cash.
Yeah. But my point is we've adapted, and that stuff is a slow burn.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you look up and you go, oh yeah, we live our lives in a totally different way. Yes. And I just think there's something to be said for that.
That's the innocent version. The malevolent version, I can't say it.
You're close.
The evil version is that there's a conspiracy that the U.S. is going to control all the digits, and therefore they're going to control your life. Well, they already do have all the digits.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't control your life with those digits. And so the question is not the digits being allowed to control your life, digital money. Because when you use your Apple phone, or when you use a credit card or a debit card, or you transfer money any other way, ACH or anything else, it's all digits. So when you do that, they already have all of that.
Absolutely.
That's all available. And so far they've not used that to steal our freedoms.
No, not yet.
But there's a commercial, I heard it the other day, and then I saw a different thing, a write-up that, when the U.S. goes digital, you are not going to do transactions. And if they want to cancel you because they don't like your faith or they don't like whatever, they can just turn off your ability to do business, as if it's like the mark of the beast or something in Revelation, okay? And it's just, I'm sorry, folks, there may be a mark of the beast someday, but this one's not it. There was a whole thing going around for years that the credit card was the mark of the beast.
Oh, yeah.
You had to have a credit card to do a transaction. And then the last one was with the Fauci quarantine.
Yeah.
They had the vaccine passport.
Yes.
That was going to be the mark of the beast.
And at one point it was when your face...
God, I'm getting old. I've seen a lot of beasts with marks.
When your iPhone scans your face to let you into the phone, it's like they're going to scan your eyeball.
Yeah.
And that's going to be...
Yeah, now they got your eyeball. Yeah. So, I mean, it's and just don't get Rachel. Nancy, I'm glad you didn't call when Rachel Cruz was here, because she's the conspiracy theorist extraordinaire. And she would have joined you in this. But no, I'm not going to join you. So I'm going to tell you, honey, don't worry. I'm not worried.
I'm not worried.
I got big old piles of cash, and I'm not worried about it going out of style. Like real, actual greenbacks. So there we go. Yeah, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And gold doesn't solve this, by the way, because there's never been a failed economy or a government takeover when people exchanged gold bars. I'm going to run down to Walmart with my gold bar since the economy failed, and I'm going to get me some blue jeans. It's just not going to happen, boys and girls. Not going to happen. Okay? You can't find since the Roman Empire, a modern-day economy in the last 400, 300 years that used actual gold as a medium of exchange exclusively. So these guys telling you to buy gold because that's what one of the commercials was on the digits.
Yeah.
Because Americans are going digital and you need gold. It's the latest fear to buy gold crap. Don't do it. This is The Ramsey Show. Jade Washall Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for being with us. Kim is in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Kim. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Jade. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
And thank you for all your work, Dave. It's changed everything for me. But my question is, I sold my house, I downsized and bought a townhouse for me and my daughters, and I was only short about $16,000. So instead of taking a mortgage, I just took a line of credit against my car since it was a lower interest rate and it was only $16,000. So now I don't know, because it's my last debt. Should I tackle this like it's baby step number 2 and clear out my emergency fund, or should I look at it like it's my mortgage, even though technically my mortgage is paid for, and continue on the baby steps because I'm on baby step 4 currently if I go that route?
I would tackle it as baby step 2. What do you have? Yeah, because what else do you owe on the car? You tacked the $16K to your car?
That was all.
Yeah, no, the car was paid for. Yeah, the card was paid for.
So your only debt in the whole world is $16,000.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Do you have it laying around anywhere?
Well, it's in my savings account, but that's my. Well, actually, I borrowed 16, but now I've been paying it for the last 5 months aggressively, so I only owe $11,000.
How much is in your emergency fund?
$17,000.
Pay it off today.
Mm-hmm. And just stack back up that savings.
Yeah, I agree with Jade. What's your income?
Okay. Well, I just got a raise, so I'm up to $57,000.
Okay, so you'll aggressively rebuild the $5,000 or $6,000 back up to a good emergency fund within just a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I was ready. I called the bank. I asked my lady, I'm like, hey, I think I'm ready to pay it off. And then I thought, well, maybe I should, keep that emergency and work at, baby step number 4, because I'm not at 15% right now. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to call. I wanted to see what
if it was a little bit more money or something, I might slow down and make it 6 or something. But I think there's a tremendous amount to be said for cleanliness.
Okay.
I like that.
This is just clean. Mm-hmm. Your life is very clean. You are baby step 7. Now we just rock and roll on the investments as soon as we get the emergency fund done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Get that in, because I'm only at like 4 or 5% right now with investments, so I have to work on that.
Well, you're going to jack that as high as you can possibly jack it after you get the house paid off and the emergency fund in place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate you calling. That was good.
That was good. She kind of just jumped back a step. She'll do 2, 3, and 4 and on to the races. That's good.
I'm not sure I would have done it that way, but now that we're there, that's the plan. Jared is in Minnesota. Hi, Jared. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How you going?
How can we help?
Yeah, my wife and I are going to be expecting a baby in March.
Congratulations.
And we are trying, thank you. We are trying to find something a little bit more suitable for living. And with the high costs of rent, we were thinking about potentially getting a house so that the mortgage is usually roughly about the same or a little less.
Do you guys have any debt?
Yeah, I'm currently a student. I'm in my last year of school, and I've had to pay my way through, and I'm about 61 in student loans. And then she had a car that she had bought after she graduated a few years ago, which is at 18.
What's your degree in?
My degree is math education.
What are you going to do, teach?
Yep.
Okay. What will a math teacher make?
Usually starting, it depends on the school district, anywhere from 40 to 50.
What about your wife?
She currently makes 51.
Okay, and she's done with school.
Salary. Yeah, she's done with school and she's working currently.
And what is her profession?
Art teacher, so a couple of teachers.
2 teachers. Okay. Look, congratulations on the baby coming. I'm excited for you guys. I want you to have a house. I want you to have all those things, but I want you to have them the right way so they don't have you, right?
Right.
So first things first, hey, I'm just going to walk the baby steps on this. Are you familiar with that at all?
A little bit.
Okay. So this is going to be the fastest, as Dave would say, the cleanest way for you to not only pay off your debt, save up the money you need, and eventually build wealth. So there's a framework here. And it involves paying off your debt first before purchasing a home. And the reason for that is, A, your income right now is tied up in your it's going to be tied up in your student loans. It's tied up in your car. And we want to free that up so that you're able to save the down payment you want. You're able to get the house that you truly want, right? Make sense?
Yeah. Rent is a great deal short term. It's a horrible deal long term. So I agree with you. You don't want to do it long term. But short term, if you buy a house with this much debt, you have to buy an extra bedroom for Sally Mae. Because you know she's still living with you, and you need to kick the old woman out before you buy a house because it's going to strain you. Heat and air will go out, the water heater will go out, and the roof will leak the first week you move in this house with a bunch of debt. Don't do that. You're going to get yourself in a pinch. You're a broke college student, brand new married, brand new baby on the way. You're at the broke end of life.
Yeah. Do you have any money saved?
It's the most broke you'll ever be right now. It'll be nothing but better from here. You'll have better incomes from here, better situation from here. So renting for the next little while is the babies don't take up much room. They're small. And renting for a little while you guys get your mess cleaned up that you've made and then have a solid foundation to buy. The home will be a blessing for you and not a curse if you'll do that. It is not popular among your friends for me to tell you that, but I don't really care what your friends think. They're broke. And you don't want to take financial advice from broke people. So the risk that you are adding mathematically to your life by adding a house to a new baby and to a big old pile of debt, this spells stress,
True that.
anxiety, problems in relationships. Don't do it. Please keep your life calm and simple. Get out. Both of you get a job. Both of you work your tail off. Smile about the time that we had to eat broke people food and drive broke people cars.
Yeah.
And you'll remember that. Sharon and I had those days. Jade and Sam had those days. When you're first getting married, that's the normal thing.
That's right. And by the way, if you're sitting on a big chunk of money because you have money from the wedding or money from graduation, throw it at the debt.
Throw it at the debt. Clean it up. List your debts smallest to largest and dump them in that area. We'll give you a baby gift. Financial Peace University. We're going to give your baby a gift. We're going to teach its mama and daddy how to handle money. And if you'll follow the stuff I teach you and that Rachel and George and Deloney teach you in Financial Peace University, you will become wealthy. If you don't follow it, you will stump your toe, stumble, and struggle, and look like most people. Looking good and broke. And buying crap you can't afford with money you don't have to impress people you don't even really like. And so it is a normal, good dad unction to go buy your new child a home. Thank you for being a good dad. But you're going to resist that in order to be a great dad.
That's right.
And a dad that delays pleasure. Children do what feels good. Adults devise a plan and follow it. So hang on. We'll get you guys signed up for Financial Peace University. And you two go through that together as a young married couple. It'll be the best thing you've ever done. I promise you. And if you don't, I'll give you all your money back. Oh, wait a minute. You didn't pay for it. So there you go.
I'll take some of that money back.
That was our old, back in the day we had Financial Peace University, we had a money back guarantee. We said if you go to all 9 classes, you won't want your money back. If you don't go to all 9 classes, we won't give you your money back. But if you'll go to all 9 classes, you won't ever ask for a refund. And never had a single person ask for a refund.
That's
so
good.
there you
That's
go.
Good. It's a great class.
But yeah, you just got to prove attendance in all 9 classes and that you hated it and that we ripped you off. Nah, nobody ever got mad at anybody for getting them out of debt. Didn't happen.
That's right.
It's too much fun. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, James 1:4. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Anne Sullivan said, people seldom see the halting and painful steps by which the most insignificant success is achieved. Love it. Gina is with us in San Antonio. Hi, Gina. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for having me.
My honor. How can we help?
Long-time listener, a big fan. So I have been married 19 years, 55 years old. I am going through a divorce. We're probably towards the end of, unfortunately, a pretty contentious divorce. We have been blessed with a lot of assets and a very good income. And my question is, because I was not in charge of our finances when we were married. My former husband handled all that, and I have to say he did a great job. My question is, what debt should I prioritize to pay off once the divorce is final?
Oh, my. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's really hard. Well, a friend of mine that does divorce counseling says that divorce turns a marriage into a business transaction. And so first and foremost, let me clarify what you're going to end up with and why. Who's taking the home?
Our primary home has already been sold, and we've each already purchased new homes.
Okay, good. That's good news. So that got rid of that problem. Is there any co-debt that both of you are on?
Yes, sir. We have 3 investment homes that have 50% equity. We have a SBA loan that we had to take out during COVID of $150,000, and we have a vehicle that we owe about $26,000 that my former husband will be taking.
Okay. The divorce court does not have the power to remove you from those debts. It has the power to assign the debts to one of you. But if let's say your husband's taking the car, it has your name on the debt. If he doesn't pay it, it comes back on you.
Okay.
So you have what's called a contingent liability, as if you co-signed on those. So all of those debts that you mentioned are real concerning. Because I got a feeling the SBA loan is a business loan, obviously, and he's probably running that business, it sounds like.
We actually are both 50-50 owners on our business. We have a business together as well. So there's a lot of pieces. It's a big web, which is why this has been going on since January.
So what's happening with the business? Who's going to end up with it?
Well, he's going to maintain that business, that LLC. We are in the same business in the meetings and events business, and we each have our own clients. He'll maintain the LLC that's in existence, and I will establish a new one.
Okay, and you'll take your clients and go on with your life. Okay. But the SBA loan is in both of your names.
Yes, sir.
And it's $100.
Now, he's offered to take it, the debt, but I don't know exactly how, like you said, I'm not really
Same thing. It has your name on it. He can take it, but if he doesn't refinance it and get your name off of it and doesn't pay it for some reason, let's say he gets in trouble in business or gets an IRS lien or something that even he didn't see coming. Okay, you're going to end up holding the bag on these investment properties, this SBA loan, this car, if he's supposed to take them, unquote, quote unquote. So, and divorce attorneys don't do a good job of explaining that to people. So they oftentimes just split things up and they go, well, he's got the car and I got this investment house and he's still on the investment house that you got. And he's still got, if you screw it up, he's baked then. So you said there's a lot of assets.
Yeah, what kind of cash do you guys have?
Yeah, really.
Well, so we did make a nice proceeds from the sale of our primary home. We split those. That was about $328,000 each. Okay, so those monies were split, and there's a legal word for them, partitioned. Okay, so normally the lawyers advise not to buy new homes in the middle of a divorce, right? So it becomes community property. But we signed documents that the funds were partitioned. Of that $328,000, the loan I was able to get by just barely, only allowed me to put down $140,000. So I still have the rest of that cash untouched in a bank account that I would like to put down towards my current home.
Right.
I also received a large inheritance. Unfortunately, it's been a heck of a couple of years. Both my parents passed in the last 2 years.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's tough.
So I received an inheritance of $528,000, and it's in a separate account as well, untouched. It's just been sitting there.
Let me propose something really weird. It may throw a monkey wrench in the middle of your negotiations. I would propose selling the 3 rental houses, paying off the SBA and paying off the house and splitting the cash.
I love that.
Paying off the car, I'm sorry. Paying off the car, paying off the SBA loan, getting rid of the 3 rentals, and then you just walk away with a pile of cash, he walks away with a pile of cash.
Yeah, because what would have been the plan with the rentals?
Well,
that you each just get a piece of it?
I'm guessing you guys were getting ready to split those up, weren't you?
Yeah, now we keep dancing around like, how's this going to work? And we can only remove each other from title. And
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. You can get off a title, but you can't get off the mortgage. Same thing with a stupid SBA loan. You can go open your own LLC, but you're still on the stupid loan for $175K.
Cleanliness. Here it is again.
Yeah.
That's been the...
And so I think you're both setting up a very sad reason, but you're both setting up a new dream. Your 20-year from now future is a completely different picture than it was 5 years ago.
Right.
And it doesn't involve an SBA loan, and it doesn't involve him having a car payment with your name on it, and it doesn't involve 3 rental houses. The only way I would keep those rental properties is if you refinanced them and got each other's names off of them.
Okay.
It's because it's gonna bite you. I've done this for 30 years. It's gonna come back and bite you. It may be 10 years. It may be 5 years from now. You want to remarry and y'all want to do something, and this stupid SBA loan has got your name on it, and it keeps you and your new husband from getting a house.
Yeah, this is going to, as long as you keep all this around, it's going to keep each of you from having the fresh start that you want.
Yeah, that you need. It's your best shot at healing is the complete separation. So I don't know if I can talk you guys and the lawyers into this, but man, if it was me, I would want to be, shake the dust off my feet, man. I'd want to be clear. A couple stupid rental houses to be done with the SBA loan, the car loan, and him.
Yeah.
That's not, and you get all the you get your half of the cash net. Hey, it's kind of a no-brainer. Then the only thing we got to split up is the 401ks or whatever's laying out there. There's nothing else left. Y'all already split the home.
Right.
You're going to end up walking away with over $1 million cash in a debt-free house you're living in.
Well, I would pay this house off, so that's my next question.
You'd pay that house off.
House paid off.
But you got $528,000 laying there now.
You could do that,
and you've got another $200,000 almost laying there from the partition, and you got the equities from the rentals. I don't even know what they are, minus the debts. I mean, the prices of the rentals minus the debts, minus the taxes due because of the sale, minus the SBA loan, minus paying off his car, and then the only thing left is divide up that cash and the 401ks against each other.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
And it's
That's
just
really
it's
clean.
It's clean walking. And if you want to buy some rentals, after you finish crying and being mad and all the stuff that goes with this,
You get her own.
then go get you a rental later. But you got plenty of money. You're both going to walk out of this millionaires, I'm guessing. That's what it sounds like. And I know you are for sure with the inheritance, and you've got a good client base. You're confident in your career steps. You got a good solid place for healing and a fresh start. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
but
that's
man,
tough.
I
That's a lot of loss.
I really wouldn't try to keep my finances in the past while I'm trying to live a future.
I don't know why the lawyers wouldn't suggest that. Are they just bozos or?
They don't take into consideration these contingent liabilities because they don't have to deal with it 5 years from now.
That's what it
I
is.
do when they come to me.
Yeah.
I got to deal with it when it screws up and goes sideways. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jade. Look, if you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.